Everyone, come on in for the Married at First Sight season 15 episode 16 recap, review, commentary, and this is the last episode before decision day. And I know all you are tired, and let me tell you, by the end of this episode, Justin was like, he's ready for this ish to be over. I am giving you all my final predictions for these couples today, or what I think is going to happen on decision day. Who knows? I may be right. I may be wrong. I don't know what's going to go on. But I do know that between the two of these two people, Alexis and Justin, Justin seems tired, and so does Alexis. Alexis is tired of acting. We knew Alexis loved the stage and she loved to put on a show. But I even think the actress is tired. She is tired. I am predicting a no for both of these people, because I saw that Justin is over Alexis, and I think he has enough in him now to actually say no to her. At first, I was thinking that if she says yes, he'll say yes. That's what I was thinking, depending on who they may go first. If they make her go first and she were to say yes, I could see Justin saying yes. But he would only say yes if she said yes. But I think that we're going to get two no's out of these two. I think we're going to get two no's, y'all. But I want to talk about the episode. I know that not that many people probably watched it because they thought it was a filler episode. But actually, I thought it has some good stuff in it. So it was worth me doing a video. So I hope y'all will join me on this video. And like I always say, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop down in the comments on this video if you have anything else to add to the video. You can agree, disagree with what I said, and add some extra stuff, because I miss some stuff. I don't get everything. But let's get started. So first of all, it started off with Justin sitting down with Newton. Newton really does like Justin. You could tell, because every time Newton is on the screen, for some reason, he seems to be around and near Justin. I think this dog really likes Justin. And it was actually kind of sad to see him in that little brief moment, because it reminded me how he gave his own dog up. It's almost like a man, taking on another woman's kids, becoming a stepdaddy, but then he don't even see his own kids. It's just something about that it's just sad. You just don't like to see it. Pouring the love into someone else's kids, but then your own kid, you gave them away, or you don't even see them. Maybe I'm just doing too much. I might be doing too much. I might be all in my feelings, y'all. Who knows? But he talked to his mom on the phone, and his mom was like, "Yeah, I know you gave up Maya. How you feeling?" And finally, Justin admitted. He said, "You know what? When I gave up Maya, I thought it was going to be an automatic yes." He was like, "What's that, Illuminati?" He was sacrificing Maya for Alexis. Illuminati be talking about people sacrificing people for other good things. Well, let me tell you, Justin sacrificed Maya for Alexis, and he now realizes that it didn't buy him anything. He sold his soul, as they might say, because that didn't even get him a yes. It's worse than the deal with Lindy and Miguel, where Miguel had to give up health insurance because he thought it was going to get Lindy to change her whole last name, and all she did was hyphenated. So I don't even know what he got at all for giving up Maya. He got nothing. He didn't even get a hyphenation. When you look at Newton really isn't I think all dogs are cute. Like they say, all babies are cute. But if you really look at Newton, he wouldn't be considered a dog. He ain't gonna be in no magazines too much or whatever. But he's a good dog. And it kind of reminded me of when Alexis first got chosen for the show, and Pastor Cal asked her, what are you in the terms of the looks category? Remember, she wanted the linebacker with the nice body, and he had to be over 6'4", and all this other kind of stuff. But she told Pastor Cal that looks was only 30%. She was 70% about personality. Well, one thing we learned about Alexis is she says stuff that's not true. because we all know that Alexis didn't really wasn't too much physically attracted to Justin when she first met him, when he first walked down the aisle, when she first saw him on that hinge and she didn't swipe on him. So we already know that when Alexis said that she was 70% personality, 30% looks, that was a lie. Because she basically, Justin was already in the hole before he even opened up his mouth and started talking about his personality or even showing any part of her personality. Because to be honest with you, I'm still really, really confused over what is the big problem with Justin for Alexis. All Alexis talks about is you get in your head. That's the only thing she's got for Justin. You get in your head, you get in your head, you get in your head. And that was why she says she's 10% not wanting to say yes. And she keeps lying again, talking about she's 90% yes and 10% no. Girl, that's flipped. You are 10% yes, 90% no. So once again, she's misrepresenting. And all she really has to say about Justin is he gets in his head. And that's one of the reasons why she's afraid to say no. Like we all have figured out with Alexis, Alexis is not only not attracted to Justin, she's also a liar. And I think what she has realized on this show is a lot of the things she thought about herself is not even true. It's not even true. Even the things she thinks about herself are not true. But when Justin's talking to his mom and everything, and he's trying to tell her that things is pretty rocky around here. I don't know what decision day is gonna even look like. And he starts talking about what's going on with Alexis and how Alexis wants to be dominated in the bedroom. Alexis loves for us to believe these stories about her. That she's had 3 proposals. Everybody wants her. Now the new story is that she's just like this sex pot in the bedroom, and she's so great and she's so wonderful. And Justin can't keep up with her, and he's buying right in it, just like Ben buys into what Morgan says, just like Miguel buys into what Lindy says. Just because these men start parroting and mimicking what these women say doesn't mean I believe it. I don't believe it. Just like I didn't think Ben should take all the blame for Morgan, just like I don't think that Miguel needs to take all the blame for Lindy, I don't think that Justin needs to take all the blame for Alexis. So Alexis can go around and say whatever she wants to say, and I don't even care if Justin says, yeah, my wife wants to be dominated in the bedroom and I'm a little bit more reserved. And it was his own mama that said, well, baby, you just scared. You just scared. You don't really feel like letting loose because you're scared. And basically, you don't trust this woman. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Because I don't know how a person can be free in the bedroom when they don't trust a person outside the bedroom. You see, Alexis really hasn't given Justin too much to trust. She has shown that she's untrustworthy even in her friendships, telling her friends business. So when you want someone to be loose in the bedroom, you got to ask yourself why no one wants to open up to you in the bedroom. Sometimes it's because they don't trust you. Okay. And I believe that is part of what's going on with Justin. And when he says he's in his head, he does. He's got a mental blockage in his head. And Alexis keeps thinking it's all Justin's problem and he needs to fix it. And she doesn't really have anything to do about that blockage in his head. But she absolutely has something to do with that blockage in his head. So sometimes people want you to fix problems, but they don't understand that they're part of the problem. But his mama said, go ahead on and let that freak out. His mama was trying to tell Justin, let that freak out. And Justin was like, what? I don't want to be talking about this with my mama. This is too much. And Justin was getting all embarrassed in front of his mother. But his mama did tell him, hey, you know what? If those are the reasons that she's going to bring up in terms of not wanting to be married to you, then maybe she ain't the one. There you go. Maybe because when I hear these excuses from Alexis about why she doesn't want to stay married to Justin, and the excuse is he gets all in his head, that ain't a reason to break up a marriage. That's why I know she's still lying. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Because the reason she's given, because he gets in his head, is not a reason for you to break up a marriage. It just is not. And Alexis talks to her own mama and she starts telling her own mama the same thing. I'm having reservations. I don't know what to do. Girl, you already know what you're going to do. This is all just part of acting by Alexis with her mama. And she says, he's a good person and he's a nice person and all these other kind of things. But she says, he just keeps getting in his head. There we go again. Same old excuse. One thing Alexis does is once she latches on to something, she runs with it. She comes up with some psychology mumbo jumbo, and she runs with it. And this is what she's running with this whole episode. This idea besides Justin gets in her head, and now she has got him out here saying the same thing. And everywhere they go, all they talk about is how Justin is in his head. These people, maybe they need to get a t-shirt that says it. He gets in his head. And she talks about how Justin doesn't let her in. And if Justin doesn't let her in, how is she supposed to help him or fix it? Well, first of all, Justin started off as the man that told Alexis everything in his head. You remember when Justin would just spill his heart out and he didn't care how Alexis reacted to him. He just spoke from the heart and told her everything in his head. He told her his fears, his desires, his wishes. Now we got Alexis over here talking about that Justin doesn't talk to her. And she wonders why it happened. Because when Justin was coming to her true and authentic, crying and spilling his guts, he was rejected. He was not looked upon favorably. And now that he's all tight-lipped, as she says, and not sharing his thoughts, now she's like, well, why isn't he sharing? This girl can't win. When he was sharing his emotions and being forthright, it was too much for her. She didn't like it. And now all of a sudden she's saying he's closed in and not talking, and now that's a problem too. I really wish that once this show is over, Alexis really looks at herself, because she has spent a lot of time on this whole 8 weeks talking about who Justin needs to be and what Justin needs to do differently. And we rarely hear anything about what she needs to do differently. Later on in the show, this episode, she does talk about something. He asked something of her. Finally, Justin asked something of her for her to initiate sex more often in the bedroom. And guess what Alexis says? I know she can't do that. After 8 weeks, he finally asked something of this girl, and basically she's saying she can't really do that. You know, Alexis is all scared. She's saying, what's going to happen after the training wheels are off on this marriage when we out in the world all by ourselves? And she's saying, you know, they're already struggling in this bubble of married at first sight, which is interesting because most people actually talk about how the bubble adds stress to the marriage because all the cameras, the filming schedule of how rigorous it is. And they actually say that adds a stress to the marriage. And a lot of the couples say that after the cameras are gone, then they're able just to settle into their life. But that's the couples who you know are going to make it. But Alexis seems to think that the utopia world are the cameras. And then the world that's going to be tougher are when the cameras are gone. But that just further points to what I think is the motivation of Alexis. Alexis likes the cameras. And I think what she figured out was the only reason she is still with Justin is because of the cameras. She said it right episodes ago when she said if this was a dating world and there were no cameras and I was not getting any fame from this, any camera time, she would have been gone a long time ago. The only reason she has stuck around, one, is because of her contract, two, because of the cameras. And what she's saying is, how the heck are we going to stay together after this cameras are gone when kind of the only reason I'm here now is because of these cameras and this contract. That's one thing she is admitting, that the only reason she's still in this marriage is because of those cameras and that contract. And after those two things are gone and lifted, Alexis is out of here. But her mama told her, just don't settle. Just don't be with a person because you're trying to prove that you're not a runner. And she says, make sure that he's the one for you. And I agree with that, mama. I don't believe that Justin now is the one for Alexis, not because of who Justin is, but because of who Alexis is. And Alexis actually can appreciate the good qualities of Justin, because Justin does have some good qualities, and like everyone else, he has some things he needs to work on. But what a woman with Justin would need to do is she would need to really appreciate his good qualities, his sweetness, his kindness, his undevoted love and attention to you. She would have to value those things. And those things would trump any of the other areas that maybe he is weak in or has shortcomings in, or which she might have to work with him more. And the problem is that Alexis doesn't appreciate that sweetness and kindness of Justin more than the part she's talking about, which is the sex in the bed and how she needs a manly man and how she wants to be dominated in the bed. So guess what? They're not a good match. They're not a good match at all. And I really believe that Justin can go out in the world and he can actually find another partner who will value him for that sweetness and kindness and good-heartedness that he has. I really do. But they have their little last supper, the last supper before the execution. He brings her some sunflowers because he knows that's her favorite flower and everything. And they have their last little dinner. And this is the first time Alexis ever says what she could have done differently. And she says, oh, I guess I could have given you a safer space and honored you more. And it's so ironic because when Justin starts talking about how he didn't realize he got in his head all the time and now he recognizes it, Alexis browbeats him and says, well, you know what? It's good that you now realize that, because this is what I've been asking for all this time and I didn't get it. And now that you say that you're ready to give it to me and not get in your head, I don't know if I trust it. Well, the same thing could be said about you, Alexis, that are you finally realizing that you didn't create a safe space for Justin and also that you didn't honor him? Is this the same thing? You spent 8 weeks not doing that. So I guess we could say the same thing about you. Why would anybody trust that you could be a different person? Because you too haven't shown to be a different person. So one thing about Alexis, she talks about Justin, is he's all talk and no action. That he says the right things, but nothing ever changes and stays the same. Well, guess what? I guess we could say the same about Alexis. She says she's a runner, but she's not a runner anymore. Well, no, you're still a runner, because you just said the only reason you're still here is because of the contract and the cameras. So nothing has changed about you. It's just that you're handcuffed because of a contract and cameras. That means you're still a runner. And just like she said, she didn't create a safe space and she didn't honor him. So these are the same problems she had in past relationships, and it's the same problem she has now. So the very thing that she's condemning Justin over is actually, and which is the idea of talking but not doing anything differently, she's actually the same person. So I don't know, when people go around and they demand change from others, but they're not willing to be the change they need to be, I actually have a problem with that. I have a problem with people who demand change, but they themselves don't want to change. But Justin fills her in on his conversation he had with her mama and how his mama told him you should be more freaky. And you know what? I think Alexis got a little jealous of the conversation with the mama. She was like, wait a minute, you told your mama this? You told your mama about what was going on in the marriage and all these other kind of things? I think she was a little taken aback that Justin hadn't shared that with her. Because I think Alexis likes to know everything. She likes to know everything about what Justin thinks. She likes to know everything about the other couples. And when Justin told her he actually talked about something with his mama, but didn't talk about her, she kind of kept a little straight face on it. But I could see a little bit of her saying, it's interesting that your mama understands you more than I understand you. Because the mama was pegging her own son right. She was pegging her son, talking about, you are scared, you are not feeling safe and secure in this marriage, and this is the reason why maybe you're having some of these other problems. And Alexis picked up on that. She picked up on that. So when they get ready to have their final night together and everything, and Alexis like, are you gonna miss me? Are you gonna miss me? Girl, why are you saying that? Like I said, Alexis loves to be told how great and wonderful she is. And Justin, he falls into it. He goes, yeah, you should just come with me. And she says, well, that might defeat the purpose. Girl, you ain't trying to go with Justin, so I don't even know why you say that. You know what? It's like a person you don't like, a man you don't like, but you go around talking about, do you like me? Do you like me? If you know you don't like him, why would you be asking, does he like you? Because you just like to be fawned over? I really don't like that part of her. And then when he is finally leaving, she's like, you know what? You seem like the type of person, you might stalk me if I say no to you. And he's like, I ain't doing that. He said, first of all, I'm too lazy to do something like that, to be stalking you from the window. That's Alexis's secret wishes, that she could have a news story to tell that, this man was down in my window asking me to be with him. We all know that after this is all said and done and Alexis goes out and she starts telling her stories to the next man that she dates, just like she told all of us over and over that she's had 3 proposals, I guarantee you that one of the first things she's going to tell a new date is, yeah, I was married on this show and he told me he loved me within the first couple of days. Y'all absolutely know she's going to tell that story, because she's going to want to tell the story of how she made a man fall in love with her in 2 days. She going to walk around with it with like a badge of honor, y'all. You know it. But one thing she better hope this man don't watch this show, because she's going to be able to talk all she wants to, but all he's going to have to do is come and roll the tape, and he's going to realize straight from the jump, this girl is all talk and no action. That's going to be her problem now. Is before, people will have to believe these stories about Alexis. But now they're going to have evidence. This tape, these shows are going to live through eternity. And anytime these men who date her want to know a little bit more about her and how she actually treats men, all they're going to have to do is roll this tape. That's it. That's why I always tell people, if you're on these reality TV shows, even if you don't like the person you've been paired up with, you better remember that this tape is going to live on forever. And this is going to be a representation of you when you go forward. So you better do your best to treat that person with honesty and integrity in a good way, even if you don't like them. Because your future partners, they may roll this tape. And they may look at some things that happen and realize and say, you know what? That's okay. I don't want to date her. I don't want to date her. And that's why I think a lot of these people after this show have a problem dating. I really do believe that. On the after party, was not called the after party this time. They had the girl in there, Rachel. You know, Rachel, Johnny, and Merla. And I really wasn't a big fan of Rachel when she was on the show. And let me tell you, when she was on the after party, she was talking about how hard it is to be dating out here in the world and how it is treacherous. And when they were asking their opinions on the different couples, one thing you saw about Rachel's opinion, it differed greatly from the married couples, because the new two married couples on there were Brianna and Vincent and Beth and Jamie. And when they asked questions to Rachel, her mindset was completely different from the married women. Even when they were talking about Alexis going to the club, Rachel's mindset, just like it was on the show, was you can't tell people what to do. That was her mindset. But guess what all the married men said and all the married women said? No, that's not true. And you can't tell people what to do, but if you're married, you should want to be different and do something different. You should be creating a life with your husband, not a life still going out to the club every weekend. And that is why Rachel is still single. And I'm telling you, that is why it didn't work with the husband she was with, because everybody called him controlling. But it does look like you're controlling when you have a person who comes in a relationship and marriage with unreasonable standards. It's the same thing that's going on with Lindy and Miguel. And I'm going to get to their video. You look controlling when you have to teach someone basic things of marriage. And a basic thing of marriage should be you don't go to the club every Friday. So the fact that Rachel thinks that's okay, of course she would be thinking that it's controlling. And that's why we got the problem over there with Lindy and Miguel. Because Lindy thinks that when you draw boundaries and you tell a person how you can and cannot speak to me, that means you're controlling. I know controlling and drawing boundaries are not the same thing. But y'all join me over there on that video y'all join me over there on that video with Miguel and Lindy, because I'm going to get into this whole discussion over what is controlling versus boundaries. It's not the same. But Alexis says she has all these sort of enlightenment periods, and she says, one of the things that she realized she didn't do was she put the worry before the problem, and she was worrying before the problem even happened. Bingo. She says she was running around telling everybody else this, but she didn't take her own advice. Let me tell you, Alexis spent her entire 8 weeks talking about other couples, counseling other couples. If this is what Alexis wanted to do, talk about other couples, she should have just been like me and been a YouTube blogger. She could have just watched the show and started her YouTube channel and talked about all the other couples. But instead, what Alexis did was she inserted herself in the marriage, in the show, and then she wanted to talk about all the other couples. She would have been better off just being a YouTube blogger, just like me and everybody else out here, if she wanted to talk about everybody else's marriages. Instead of concentrating on her own marriage. She spent the majority of her time evaluating, asking questions, and concentrated on all the other couples as opposed to on her own marriage. And when you start to look at the growth of people in this show, even the people like Mitch, who grew along in this show, you look at people who have grown along in this show, and I don't see any growth at all from Alexis. I think Alexis is the same place she was when she started. And in fact, I think it's a worse place, because when she started, she thought she was one person. And now I think after this show has ended, she realizes she's not even the person she thought she was. Alexis is going to have to go through a rediscovery of herself and realize that what she thought she was, she's not it. She's going to need some time to figure out who she is and come up with a better game plan for herself and out here in the dating world. Because if she just re-enters the dating world showing up as the same person she showed up with Justin, she's not going to be successful. Not at all. But Alexis says she's hopeful, but she's indecisive. Girl, you're not indecisive. And this 90% yes, 10% no, I flip that. You are 10% yes, a 90% no. So I'm predicting it's going to be a no for Alexis. And Justin said he's just ready to get this ish over with. I'm predicting a no for Justin too. So what do y'all think? What are your predictions on this couple? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Or you're going to get one no or two no's, two yeses, one yes, one no. What y'all think? Drop down in the comments and let me know. And I'll check you all out on the other videos. You should see the links here above my head. Click on over there so we can start talking about these other couples. Talk to you later. Bye.